Hey, this is Kim. Welcome to Hearts and Stone. Today we are at the old Sacramento City Cemetery, Sacramento, California. This cemetery was founded in the late 1800s after a cholera epidemic and also a mysterious illness that came off of a ship traveling from Asia that killed over 1,000 people in a very short amount of time. So this cemetery was founded to mass bury several hundred people all in about a month and a half, including several doctors. And since then, it has expanded and grown. Now it is a historical landmark. It was being heavily vandalized in the 1980s. There are many broken stones here that have been repaired, but then it became registered as a historical landmark and restored. And as you can see, they take very good care of this cemetery. The first grave we're going to head to today was one of the most unique gravestones I've seen. And this man died quite young. But he was someone after my own heart. He was a lawyer and obviously loved reading as much as I do. Because when you see his stone, you will understand. As you can see, his stone are stacks of books all the way around. This is Harry Snow. Died August 24th. Oh, what's wrong, baby? 1882. My dog gets involved in tying cones and other things out here and gets real excited. Age 26 years. So he was a prominent up and coming lawyer in this area, and he died suddenly due to an accident. And I used to have the inscription up here, but I can look that up for you and put that in the description of this video, what his own little book says on top here. Unfortunately, it's worn away just so much that I can't make it out. But the detail on his stone is just incredible. All the little books, and some of them you can still see the pages. And just to think, this is all carved by hand. It's just a work of art. So beautiful. Look at all of the books. They don't have names on them, the books. That would have been super cool. I mean, it's already really cool. You can see the pages if you zoom in close. The detail is incredible. But yeah, this cemetery is full of a lot of amazing graves like this. It truly is a beautiful historical place. If you've never been here before, highly recommend it. And now we're going to go over to the tomb of Mary McCormick. As you can see on my channel, I do a lot of shorts, but I'm getting in to the longer format and editing that we find on YouTube. Getting into it, seeing what I can do here. This is a perfect place to train your dog not to chase squirrels. Give you a look here. You can see it's huge. And it is built on 3 different levels. This area is very prone to flooding. And all of Sacramento was destroyed in a flood. in the late 1800s. And the cemetery, as you can see, it travels down and then uphill as a way to kind of combat the flood zones here. Try to keep the cemetery from being flooded again and have the water run down a certain angle in a certain way so that the graves on top are preserved. So after the major flood of Sacramento came through, when they rebuilt the city and they rebuilt the cemeteries, they took that in mind. Now, the tomb we're going to is a tomb of a mother and her 3 children. And Mary McCormick, unfortunately, I couldn't find too much on her historically anymore. A little bit about how her children passed away, but not much left about her, unfortunately. Her history has disappeared into the annals of time. What I do know about her is that she was only in her late 40s when she passed, and each one of her children passed before her. And she is laid to rest in a beautiful mausoleum here, but she wasn't very wealthy. However, her sister Fanny, was notorious in this area, downtown in the old Sacramento district, for being, she owned a brothel, and she was a wild woman that way, and businesswoman, and she shot a man in self-defense and was infamous in this area and ended up relocating to New Orleans and running a brothel there as well. So although we can't prove it, I'm assuming that the funds for this beautiful mausoleum that houses her sister and her nephews and nieces most likely came from her sister, Fanny, because she was a very wealthy woman when she passed, and she's buried down in New Orleans. So here we go. Here we go. Here is the mausoleum. Now, done in this Art Deco Egyptian style. Big steel door here. Key. Daisy's going to take a look at it. She always gets interested when we come up to this mausoleum door for some reason. It hasn't been open in quite some time. Let's take a walk around. Although I do think that this crypt is on the tour. They do tours here regularly, and they have spooky tea parties and things like that here. And I think her tomb definitely is on this tour. Let's go around the back. Now, written on the back of this, obviously this was done by their mother, Mary, who eventually joined them here upon her death, but it reads, 3 darling angels waiting for mother. John Clinton Morrison Green came into earth life March 9th, 1852, pass out 17 years, 3 months, and 20 days after birth. For her eldest son, he passed away from encephalitis, it sounds like. It said brain swelling. It was a description that sounded a lot like encephalitis, which was fairly common here. At the time, there's a lot of mosquitoes. This is an area of a lot of rivers and not a lot of sanitation at that time, a lot of flooding. So there was a lot of waterborne and mosquito-borne illness at that time. Lily L.L. Green came into Earth life October 11th, 1854, passed out, it just says passed out, not died or posed or arrested, but passed out 11 months and 7 days after birth. Charles A. McCormick came into Earth life August 10th, 1846, passed out 7 days after birth. And it says, a voice from the tomb after mother. It says, who will come to weep above us, lying oh so white and still, underneath the skies of summer, when all nature's pulses thrill, to a new life glad and tender, full of beauty rich and sweet, and the world is clad in splendor, that the year shall e'er repeat. Who will think of white hands lying on a still and silent breast, nevermore to know of sighing, evermore to know of rest? Who will care? No one can tell us, but if rest and peace befall, will it matter if they miss us, or they miss us not at all? Not at all. So you can see that Mary was very much grieving her children um, throughout her life and was very concerned with preserving their memory. And I think if she only knew how many visitors come to this crypt and tell her story, it might not make up for the sadness of her life, um, but it would probably surprise her to know how many visitors she does get and how many people do think of her and her children. So I'm going to try to get a little shot inside here. See if we can see it. There is a crypt. There is a little, I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of spider webs on this side. There's a lot of spider webs. Let's see. Now from here, I can see, I think what is the coffin of her son, most likely down below. Let's go on the other side because it looks big. It's either her or her son. I know there's one coffin that is beneath, and there's another one kind of perched above it. Let's see if you can see on this side. Here we go. So you can see on the left, you can see the one coffin is visible, and there was one, can't quite get the angle right, perched above it. And then I think there's other ones on this other side down below us here that can't quite catch with the camera. But let me see. Yeah, there's one right above it. So let me see if I can get that one here. So there's one up here too. I don't know if you can see it. As you can see on the left-hand side. So we have one coffin here and one perched beneath. And they're not enclosed in the wall. They are kind of out and exposed, which is interesting. And there are still silk flowers on top of the one down here. Silk flowers are still there. Look over here, there's a box. Yeah. Let's walk this way. We're about getting ready to close here. Thank you for coming with me on my first journey to the Sacramento Historic Cemetery. More to come. Welcome to my channel. I welcome all of you. Thank you for being so welcoming to me. Have a blessed day.